Yeah. On the rain. On the rain. I can't decide if I want. Somebody had to think about no matter what. Oh, okay.
This one you go sister. She said, get whatever you want.
Yeah, we take care of it.
Thank you. Okay. Go back to here.
Right. Get all this stuff.
That's you, baby.
Take it home, like, at home, it's hey, get your stuff out my,
This is you.
get your stuff out my area.
Like,
And give me a pepper.
I don't have.
Oh, so you gonna have a pepper. You the mother boy, you gonna have a pepper.
Okay. Yeah, I keep peppermint. We all. No,
We getting there.
no.
We on the way.
Thank you, Ben.
You mean the Zoom links?
We can do. I
Why
am.
we keep
I think so. I thought so.
I wish it was.
So we can close that phone? I hang up on it. Okay.
We don't need, okay. Board doc. Okay.
I think that's what we're supposed to. I left.
How do I do it? How do I? Trying to get out of the room.
Oh,
No.
then they gave me faulty back. It's on one of the.
What happened? You lose your pen?
Oh, wait, I'm putting some of the blog.
Okay. Thank you for giving my pen the other week. I wonder where it was at. I was looking all around for it, like where I pen.
I was gonna drop mine.
I'm out there. Everybody.
I'm not there.
Oh, what happened?
It's a lot of text on it, so you decide you think of.
Morning, Susan. And there we go.
So are we through with the Zoom?
Yes.
It's a lot of text on the screen, but all
Know how that got.
exiting area.
Will it stop talking then? I don't know how that happened. Okay, so how do I get that? Okay, we'll try this one more time. It popped back.
Yeah.
It says sign in after. Let me bring up the start all over. It's all over. Just go at it. Don't know what happened.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank those of you in the room for your patience. It is 7:04, and I'm going to call the meeting to order. I'd like to establish a quorum. Say roll call
Here.
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 Ready?
I have a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
All in favor?
All right.
Second. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Now, to announcement. Board members have an. Move to patient patient. Ms. Fields, do we have any patients that would like to board? Thank you. We will therefore now move to Riverview Garden Excellence.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board members, Dr. Pruitt Adams.
colleagues, and community. Today for Riverview Excellence, we would like to acknowledge and honor by our esteemed Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Joylyn Pruitt-Adams. And this may be covered in her announcement, but Dr. Pruitt-Adams will be, you see, she's surprised. She is being honored by Harris Stowe State University, the Alumni Association, at its 20th annual Brown and Gold Gala. This will be Friday, October 28th. SAB members, you will get an email from Shay. I'll send her the information if you want to RSVP for the event. But she is being honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award by Harris Stowe State University. So we just wanted to acknowledge her for her excellence here in Riverview Gardens. Sorry, Dr. JPA, I didn't print a certificate from you. I figure if you're getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, you probably don't need a certificate, but we definitely wanted to acknowledge that.
Congratulations. What an honor. What an honor. Now move to Superintendent Board.
And I have a long list, so bear with me. I just want to acknowledge that on this past Saturday, Bellfound Neighbors sponsored a safety summit hosted by Alderwoman Tatman. It was the first time in 50 years that it was open to every single community in the school district. I had an opportunity to go by. Our Men of Vision were there, a couple of other of our student teams, Ishmael and Dr. Dave. It was just an amazing event, and I walked away with a lot of vibes. Just a reminder that on Tuesday, October 18th, between 6 and 8, we will host our first in a series of town halls. Our topic and it will be held at Westview Middle School. Our topic for discussion will be charter schools, and our SAB will actually have a dialogue with concerns. Does the community see that we need to address? What opportunities do they see for us as a district and a board? And then what will they commit to partnering with us on in terms of committees and so forth? My next announcement, the Little Bit Foundation, which provides us coats, supplies, uniforms. As you know, each school has a boutique, is having their Join the Journey Gala this Friday, October 14th at the Four Seasons. And Ishmael and I had an opportunity to be in a video that will be shown during the gala. The Soul Fisher Ministries, which also supports our students, is having their gala on Friday, October 21st at the Norwood Hills Country Club. Today, there was it sounded like a party in here. I'm not sure what was going on, but when I looked in, it was the instructional coaches doing what they called a data dive into the district's star data performance, and then looking at the standards with regards to ELA and mathematics. And then last week, while I was in Kansas City with my own PD, I received this video, and it was a video, I laugh when I think about it, of our principals and some of DLT who were doing some work with Solution Tree. Last Thursday, Claire Stell Davis was the person doing it, and it was really about having a can-do spirit. And when things look down, that even the challenges that we face with regards to student learning, with regards to discipline, that going through and really doing PLC right and not light will help us address climate and student performance. And if you saw your end of week notes, click on those links and you'll see the videos that were made by the teachers. Also, we are one of the districts that are participating in the pilot of the Climate and Culture Survey from DESE. We're hoping to get it soon, but if you read the 5 things you need to know that goes out weekly from Ishmael, it kind of tells you just a little bit about that survey that we will have to do. And pretty soon you will be hearing about us forming a CSIP committee, and we will be garnering student voice, teacher voice, agency voice, parent voice, and community stakeholder voice in support of that. And last but not least, November 15th will be my 1-year anniversary in Riverview Glen School District. And so that's this Saturday. That completes my announcement. That was a fast year, I would say that.
Yes.
But that completes my announcement.
Thank you. We will then move on to items for information.
Okay, and our first item up for information is tied to the English language learners K-12 program, bringing, okay, I know one. Bringing forth this presentation is Ms. Kimberly Mott. This is in compliance with CSIP's Goal 1. It is a budgeted item, and this item is for information. I'll turn it over to Ms. Mott and the other ladies who are with her.
Okay, good evening, Special Administrative Board, Superintendent Dr. Joylyn Pruitt-Adams, colleagues and community. We are here tonight to present the 2022 English Language Learner K-12 Program Evaluation. And we are going to begin with the, oh, do I have the clicker? No. All right.
Point it, there you go. You may want to point, should she point it that way? There you go.
Oh, we're there. Okay. Good. All right. So we're going to begin with going over the changes made from the program from 2021 to 2022. So the first thing we did was we added 2 English language learner teachers, Miss Catherine Davis-Wynn and Mrs. Karuna Devetti. We also added myself since the ELL program is facilitated by the CNI team in collaboration with Dr. Nichols and Dr. Kennedy. I do have to make a correction to this slide because although it says that Catherine Davis-Wynn supports the ELL students that attend the elementary schools and central middle, just this past week, due to increased enrollment in the elementary level, we're now going to have Catherine just focus on the elementary school. And then Karuna Devetti will be supporting the ELL students at both middle schools and the high school. And just to give you an idea of their caseload, Miss Devetti, who helps with the high school and the middle schools, they have 17 students altogether. And then the elementary schools, they serve 15 students. And so as of right now, there's 7 elementary schools that have English language learners that Ms. Davis-Wynn supports. And then finally, we added Paper Tutor, which you all know is that online tutoring service that provides 24/7 live tutoring. And it's really beneficial to the ELL students, especially in the classrooms when the ELL teacher's not there and they're in the general ed classroom. So it really helps them. And then also Paper Tutor provides diverse linguistic support, language support, as well as translator service. Okay, so now I'd like to introduce Ms. Devetti. She's going to give you a brief summary on the program's goals and objectives.
Thank you, Ms. Mark, for handing over this presentation to me. Today, I'm feeling very pleased and honored to represent myself from Riverview Garden School District. Good evening to all of you. My name is Karuna Devetti, and I am one of the new hired ELL specialists in this school district. To begin with, we as an ELL family are having an explicit goals and objectives, reaching towards our successful destination. We, in order to continue to that purpose, our aim, can I have a slide, please? Oh, sorry. So sorry for that. Yeah. No. So sorry. In order to continue to that purpose, our aim is to identify, assess, and provide the ELL program to all K-12 non-native English learner speakers. We are certain in contacting with their parents in order to give the information and also give the guidance as needed. On the other hand, our objective is not only to identify, but also to get to know their level of understanding via VIDA ELL assessment program. We as an ELL teacher are working closely with other classroom teachers in order to support in the content area of instruction so that they shouldn't feel distracted and they can, they can overcome with their language barrier. As Ms. Mart said, we are 2 ELL teachers and I am one of them. We have another ELL teacher, Ms. David Min. I would like to invite her and take this presentation further on.
All right. Hi, my name is Ms. Davis Wynn, and as mentioned before, I support the elementary side of the district. Since Missouri is part of the WIDA consortium within the United States, all of our students are assessed each year using an access test posted in January. This is a special test that has a tiered grouping system, and it tests their level of English understanding in a way that measures reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So in conjunction, we're trying to find these pillars of support for just the access test to help boost those numbers. We also really focus in with a combination of these subjects in the classroom and support our curriculum teachers by tying in their lessons with their own individually tailored lessons. So we use the WIDA access score. It gives us a combined between the 4 subjects measure between 1 and 6, 1 being the lowest, 6 being the highest, on those areas of strengths and needs and how we can custom tailor those lessons for each individual ELL student. Using a mixture of the benchmark resources and Fountas and Pinnell, working closely with some of the reading specialists within the school district, we're able to work with each student to push them up and make them meet the district criteria, as well as support their peer interactions and that social engagement within their entire classroom and social structure. So we really want to focus on that cultural integration aspect as well. So we do have some of those cultural lessons included in those lessons. With the reading, writing, speaking, and listening comprehension, we tend to hear a lot from classroom teachers that what ways can we involve them in our own lessons? So we do have a lot of communication between us and core teachers as well. And then to speak on the success of last year's data, I'd like to turn it back over to Ms. Givetti.
Okay. As you can see in this slide, it says about the growth and development of our ELL scholars. We have 6 students who showed growth, 6 students who showed 0 growth, and we have 3 students who were new after 2022 testing window. And finally, as of now, we have 14 students who didn't have comparable data, hadn't completed the test, and 3 newly enrolled as of 3rd of October. So as we are heading towards the end of this presentation, again, I would like to invite Ms. Mart, with your permission, to close this session. Ms. Mart, there you go.
All right, so our next steps for the program include providing professional development to the English language learner team and the general education teachers. And we're currently in collaboration with Ms. Sharp and Ed Plus for that. We're already participating in ongoing ELL targeted professional development through the WIDA consortium and acquiring multiple certifications to increase our knowledge base. So we're currently doing that. We're going to continue to do so. We're restructuring and building a comprehensive English language learner resource library for the district. We're enhancing the district ELL website to provide greater utility to parents and students. We're improving teacher documentation procedures to enhance clarity, understanding, and accountability. And finally, we are recommending a designated stationary location for the ELL program for the elementary and secondary students so they can receive intensive ELL support throughout the day and maybe slowly transition to the general ed classroom. Thank you. Will there be any questions?
Yeah, what non-native languages are your students typically speaking?
So we right now address lots of my students speak Spanish. There are some Swahili, Yoruba. There is also a mix of
Somalia. Yeah. No Hindi.
Are the larger percentage of those Spanish
Arabic.
speakers? The larger percentage of those Spanish speakers?
Yeah.
Okay. That's just curious. Okay, thank you.
I'm saying we had some Malay too.
From what?
Malay.
Yeah, Maine.
I'm not
That's
familiar.
the link.
Okay.
I see on here that you're thinking about recommending a designated stationary place. Have you, seen what they're doing? And I think it's written.
It is.
Yeah.
National Wellness Center. Yeah, we did visit them, this past summer, and, it kind of inspired us. And it is a really cool thing because then the students have the same teachers all day, they see all the content areas, they get that intensive ELL support. They don't feel isolated in the general ed classroom. They don't really understand what's going on sometimes. So I think it's something, we're definitely in the interesting stage, but it's just something to start thinking about.
Good, okay. I love their program. Any
Any other
additional?
questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Our next item is the announcement of the RGSD Student SAB Representative. Making this announcement is Mr. Ishmael Sistron.
Good evening once again, everyone. So that Special Administrative Board, a few weeks ago, you all approved a recommendation for a student representative on the SAB. And that is part of the district's goal to really capture more student voice, to get student input in the governance so that we can get feedback from what's going on with our high school students, especially so that they are able to contribute to the governance of the district and improving the district as we seek to reach a new view on the horizon. And so Dr. Pruitt-Adams really quarterbacked the effort to create the student representative on the SAB. We reached out to high school students. This was open for high school seniors, and we had some applications for it. And so we're here to present the winners today. Because we had two excellent candidates that applied, Dr. Pruitt-Adams and I spoke with some high school staff, and it was recommended to come up with a representative and an alternate representative. And part of that is because these high school students are heavily involved. They're in sports, they're in community activism. They do so many things that we wanted to make sure that we had ample representation from our scholars. And so today I'm here to announce the two recipients. First, I will announce, and I think both of them are in attendance today, so you'll get to meet them in person. First, Lanaya Hill, are you here? Yeah, come on up. Miss Lanaya Hill is a senior at Riverview Gardens High School, and she has been recommended as the alternate student representative for the Special Administrative Board. Lanaya, would you like to say anything?
Hi, everyone. My name is Lanaya Hill, aka Lady, or that's what I prefer to be called. So I am really excited. I've been wanting this for a long time. I'm such a advocate for other people and myself first. You have to advocate for yourself before you can advocate for somebody else. But this is really important to me. And I'm just excited, and thank you so much for choosing me. And yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Lanaya. And then don't go too far. Yeah, you can stay right up. And then also for the student representative for the Special Administrative Board, we have Precious Berry. Precious, would you like to come? Precious is also a senior at Riverview Gardens High School. You may be familiar with her. She was here, I think, 2 weeks ago. But Precious, like.
Hi, everybody. I'm Precious Berry. I'm a senior at Riverview Gardens High School. Again, it's an honor to stand before you and just to represent our voices of our youth. Again, it's important that our youth, with Lanaya, aka Ladybug, just to implement our voices of our youth and just to be a part of the decision-making process. So again, it's just an honor to stand with you all.
And so part of what we're going to be asking of our student representatives is to have one of them to come to, at least one of them, both of them are invited to come to each SAB meeting We'll ask one of them to make a report or let us know what's going on in the schools and just share their voice. And they will also attend the meetings. They won't be voting, but they will be included in all of the open session activities. And so we just ask you to give them a round of the applause. These are two great young students. If we can get Ms. Moore Real and Dr. Pruitt-Adams to take a photo with our representative, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
I just wanted to say to both young ladies that it is important that they work together and share information with one another. Remind me back when, I'm not going to say how many years ago, when I was a student rep on the board for a short period of time. And I found that it was really, really vital for me to make sure that the other person and I were on the same page. So congratulations to you both, and I'm very happy to see Adele Woodian. I wanted to ask the other young lady.
Yeah.
Adele Woodian.
She made that
It's a word I made. But it's just wonderful to have young people on our board. Thank you.
Our next item.
Oh, Dr. I want to apologize first to Miss Mary Oswald, who is joining us via Zoom. Mary, we're glad that you were able to join us. So I just wanted to acknowledge that she has been a part, she was a part of closed session, and she is also a part of open session. So Mary, we're really happy to have you joining us via Zoom.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
It's okay. Our next presentation is from Dr. Tanya Patton, and she will be presenting our enrollment update as of October 2022. And this item is for information in compliance with CSIP's collaborative culture. Dr. Patton.
So good evening, SAB members, Dr. Jorlin, community and colleagues. And ladies, we are happy to have students, a student voice. So this is a great place. So thank you all for stepping up and wanting to be a part of it. It's refreshing. So thank you. I'm just representing, presenting the enrollment numbers as of October, as Dr. Jorlin said. At the high school level, we have 1,350 students. But at our middle schools, we have 1,202 students. And our elementaries combined to make 2,868 students for a total of 5,420 students. And that is approximately the number that we projected that we would have. Are there any questions?
Sure. Is it ACE number? Is that a typical number?
It is typical, Mayor Reggie. We normally have about 200 to 215 students in the NRA's program.
Second question, the elementaries, is there one that causes any concerns as far as low enrollment?
Lewis and Clark is our lowest enrollment. I wouldn't say there are concerns there. They've been historically over the years the lowest enrollment, at least the last 3 or 4 years that I'm aware of. I don't know that causes a concern, but Lewis and Clark does have our lowest enrollment.
And I actually think Lewis and Clark's enrollment is a little bit higher than it was.
It
last
is.
year.
It's higher than it was last year. Any other questions? Thank you.
Our next item is the travel information item being brought forth by Ms. Barbara Sharp, Executive Director, Continuous Improvement, Title I and Professional Development Coordinator. Ms. Sharp.
Good evening to the Special Administrative Board, Superintendent Pruitt-Adams, colleague, and community. So tonight I am presenting the travel report. This is for information as requested. The report provides a series of information to include the name of the participant, the title, position, the building, the title of the event, start and end date, location, estimated expenses, and then the funding source. On each page, you have a total. On the last page, page 4, that page has a grand total. And we also provided acronyms to explain some of the, provided a definition to explain the acronyms. So I'll take any questions that you have at this time.
Thank you. We now move to our items for discussion. Our first item is being presented by Ms. Sheffield, and it is the candidate filing cooperation agreement.
Good evening, SAB. I would like to present for your consideration. I didn't know I was presenting this, but I would like to present for your consideration the approval of the candidate filing agreement. This agreement would allow the St. Louis County Board of Election Commission office to actually handle our candidates who decide that they want to run for the school board. Instead of having candidates come to the district during the time that we're on Christmas break, it would allow this period to be just a continuous opportunity for candidates to go there. Are there any questions? There's no cost associated with this agreement.
Would there be like a particular contact person that we would have to reach out to
So
in that department?
So I currently have an individual that I speak with on a regular basis regarding anytime we need to have candidates file, but the individual would just go there like they would come here, and that very first day they would have what they call
That's when they do their filing.
when they do the filing, but on the very first day, it's like they pick numbers, and so they will show up on the ballot according to the number that they're selected on that very first day. After that, the names will be added to the ballot in that order. And so otherwise, if you decide not to enter to that agreement, then we would need to look at some other arrangements during the 2 weeks that we're off for holiday break.
And that will be continuous after this, once we make this agreement, that will be continuous.
So this would just be a 1-year agreement.
Okay.
And then after that, so what happened last year, the board approved the agreement, but we did not meet the deadline since we didn't have the information from DESI as to the number of seats that would be coming available. So we did not meet the deadline in order to move forward with the agreement. So they've resubmitted the agreement to me, and I've placed it on the board for your consideration.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Our next item is policy recommendations. Coming forth is Ms. Monica Williams, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources. And then at the end, the recommendation to approve the policy recommendations and revisions as presented. Ms.
Good
Williams?
evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt Adams, colleagues, and community. Tonight, I will be representing policy BDDB, and it deals with board agendas. This is a new policy, and the language that is important here is that at least 4 days prior to the stated meeting, each member will receive a notice by email regarding the availability to review meeting documents, the tentative agenda, related materials, and minutes of the previous meeting in detail via the online portal.
Yes. Is it for working days or just for business days or just 4 days?
Just 4 days.
Okay.
And so basically, this policy, we did have some modifications from the way that it was originally presented to the district, and that was to include that language that you will receive the notice via email. And they told me I couldn't use the word board doc, so that's why we used the word online portal in case we decided to change platforms.
Are there any questions?
It sounds like it would make the process a lot easier for a lot of people.
So the next item I'm going to introduce is the discussion of our special administrative board around their goal development. And so I'm going to introduce this item and then turn it over. Effective school boards commit to a vision of high expectations for student achievement and quality instruction through the development of clear goals and towards a vision. And so tonight, our Board of Education will have a discussion around goals that they will put for themselves. And these goals will remain the top priority in the district and will be used to provide direction and oversight towards the district regaining its full accreditation. This item is in compliance with policy BBA, school board powers and duties, and policy AF, accountability and commitment to accomplishment. I will turn it over to Ms. Maura Real.
Thank you, Dr. Pruitt Adams. Board members, what you have before you are boards that are goals rather that were created to basically share with the state Board of Education to show that we had a knowledge and an understanding of what type of goals school board members should basically want to adopt. These goals are just mere suggestions. I'm going to ask that you would give them, look them over. If there are some additions that you would like to add to them, if there are some deletions that you would like to make in them, if you would do that and get this information back to Shay so that we can then discuss and implement a final copy of goals that we would utilize. Are there any questions? I had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I have a question regarding under fiscal responsibility, bullet point number 3. The board members will increase their knowledge of school finance to effectively evaluate the district's budget, financial reports, and audit findings to ensure financial solvency. Is there any suggestion or was there any consideration on how the board member should complete that task?
Again, these suggestions, no, we didn't make any suggestions for how we would complete it. That would be up for discussion among the board members.
And that could be a retreat with MSBA.
Right.
And usually when Dr. Singleton presents the budget, he goes through it very thoroughly.
He does.
But MSBA could do a retreat on that.
Oh, we.
Yeah. For the audience members, I'm going to just read off the topic of what was selected, and let me start at the top. So the Special Administrative Board of Riverview Gardens School District will work collectively to strive for excellence in, number 1, our duty as a board of directors. The board, as a unified body, will govern the Riverview Gardens School District in an efficient and effective manner by providing leadership and representation to benefit the students, staff, and patrons of the district, and to serve as an advocate for public education at the local, state, and national levels. The areas that we have listed are community engagement, academic excellence, fiscal responsibility, board effectiveness, healthy, clean, and safe environment, technology, personnel, district climate and culture, and superintendent effectiveness. I also want to thank, even though she's not here, I want to thank Dr. Miranda Avant Elliott for helping to put these suggested boards together. Again, they're not set in stone. So I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone would like to have as our board goals. And if you can look these over and get these to Shay as soon as possible, that would be great. Are there any additional questions? Thank you all.
Our next item for discussion is the Power School Annual Subscription Agreement Applicant Tracking. Making this presentation is again Ms. Monica Williams. This is in compliance with policy DJF-2, purchasing. It is recommended at the conclusion that the board renew this annual agreement at this next meeting as it expires December 16, 2022.
Okay, the Power School Agreement is our applicant tracking system in human resources. So that is the source for managing all of the applications when people apply for positions. And so this is just for renewal, and it's for $7,622.79. Question?
Thank you. Your next item, however, is the 22-21 staffing plan adjustment. And this is in compliance with board policy IHB class size. At the conclusion, the recommendations will be made, and we will ask that the approval be later in tonight's board meeting. Ms. Williams?
Okay, so this item is staffing adjustments, and this time of year, after the last Wednesday in September, enrollment is usually stabilized at that point. And so we go back and we review enrollment, and along with that, we take a look at the staffing allocations, and we take a look at the pupil-teacher ratio, and that is how we make the decisions of whether we're overstaffed or understaffed. And with those decisions, sometimes we recommend a teacher assistant to be added to the staffing plan based on how many students they are over in the enrollment, or we will recommend a classroom teacher. And so what we have here is we're recommending, we have a couple of schools where enrollment is over the DESE class size standard. So we have Danforth, LeMasters, Gibson, Highland, Koch Meadows, and Lewis and Clark. So tonight I'm recommending 6 instructional assistants, 1 for Danforth, 2 for LeMasters, 1 for Highland, 1 for Meadows, and 1 for Lewis and Clark, and then 2 additional classrooms, 1 for Gibson and 1 for Koch. The budget impact, this is funded through our general operating budget, and it is approximately $150,000 for 6 instructional assistants, and for 2 classroom teachers, it's about $138,000.
Could you repeat the number that's going to each school again? Just trying to
Yes.
write it down.
Danforth 1, instructional assistant LeMasters 2, Highland 1, Meadows 1, Lewis and Clark 1, and then 2 classroom teachers, 1 for Gibson and 1 for Koch.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is the Axle transportation for our students in transition. Making this presentation is Dr. Tanya Patton. This item is in compliance with policy IGBCA, programs for homeless students, and is also in compliance with CSIP's collaborative cultures. Dr. Patton?
Thank you. Good evening again, everyone. Tonight I bring before you an additional transportation company that we are using to transport our students who are in transition. As you are aware, these are students who are looking for homes or in transition from home to home. Some of them live within our district, others live outside of our district, and we use 6 or 7 different transportation organizations to get them to and from school. So tonight I bring before you Axle. It is budgeted in our contracted pupil services. It is recommended that the SAB approve Axle's contract for transportation of students in transition. Are there any questions?
Can you tell me a little bit about, are they a medical transport company?
No, they are,
I've seen their vehicles around the.
right. They are more of a cab service. Sometimes they will have assistance in the vans with them that helps them to transport students. So, and not really a medical service, Ms. Morrell. Are there any questions? Other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Our last discussion item is Edgenuity Program Continuation of Services. Making this presentation is Ms. Tracy Nave, Principal at Riverview Gardens High School. This is in compliance with CSIP's Goal 1 and Board Policy IM. And it is recommended approval of this extension, which will come to you at the next board meeting. Ms. Nave.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, colleagues, and community. I come before you this evening to present a continuation of services for our Edgenuity platform that is used at the high school and also the middle schools as well. We're wanting to continue the services to assist with our efforts towards credit recovery, enrichment, our Success Academy, and our summer learning and evening academy programs. We know that throughout these last 4 years, this will be our fourth year using the platform. We have been able to recover a number of credits utilizing the program. This summer alone, we recovered 113 credits. And with our efforts towards improving graduation rate with those cohort scholars, we need to have this platform to continue. So I'm recommending, the Riverview Gardens High School is recommending that the Special Administrative Board approve its request for a continuation of services for the site license of the Edgenuity program at a cost of $25,000 using its Title I-A funds that are already budgeted. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now move to item 9, which is approval of the consent agenda. And then you see the items are listed in category 10. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda item?
So move.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Oswald?
We can't hear her.
She said yes, thank you.
Yes.
We will now move to item 11, items for action, the 22-23 staffing plan adjustment. May I have a motion?
So move.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We will now move to item 12, which is adjournment. May I have a motion?
So move.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.